All right, here's the deal. Every single NFL team has to drop from 90 players down to 53, and this year the deadline has moved up to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, August 30th. Welcome to this breaking news explainer, getting you completely ready for the absolute busiest weekend in football.
Let's dive right in. The magic number is 53. That traditional Tuesday cutdown day you might remember? Yeah, that's a thing of the past. By 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, right after the final preseason weekend wraps up, every franchise must trim their roster down to exactly 53 players. General managers are officially on the clock.
Now, the timeline for this weekend is incredibly compressed. The 53-man deadline hits Sunday evening. Then the waiver wire resolves extremely fast, with claims awarded at exactly 1 p.m. Eastern on Monday, August 31st. Right after that, on Monday afternoon, practice squads form. Teams literally have to evaluate those final preseason games and make their calls at lightning speed.
The brutal reality here comes down to the math. Going from 90 down to 53 means exactly 37 cuts per team. Multiply that across all 32 franchises, and we're talking about a huge wave of league-wide transactions happening almost simultaneously. Thousands of guys are fighting for their professional lives right now.
So how do players actually survive the bubble? Well, it's rarely about pure, raw talent at the bottom of the roster. Honestly, it all comes down to special teams value and positional versatility. A reliable depth piece who can play 3 different positions and cover kicks, they're going to beat out a one-dimensional standout almost every single time. Here is the key rule that most fans and fantasy players completely miss. What happens to the guys who don't make that initial 53? Well, if a player has fewer than 4 accrued seasons, they're waived. That means they have to pass through the waiver wire first, where other teams get a chance to claim them. But vested veterans, guys with 4 or more accrued seasons, they're released. They completely bypass waivers and become immediate free agents who can sign anywhere they want right away.
Once the dust settles on Monday afternoon, we hit the final phase of the weekend chaos, and that's practice squads. Teams scramble to assemble practice squads of up to 16 players, or 17 if they carry an international player designation. This is where general managers desperately try to stash those high-upside guys who just barely missed the 53-man cut, crossing their fingers that nobody else claimed them first.
Make no mistake, this is a hard, date-driven deadline, and keeping track of all these moving parts is a real challenge. You got to monitor every team's 90 to 53 decisions to really understand how your favorite franchise is shaping up for week 1, and of course, how that depth chart is going to impact your fantasy drafts.
Don't get left behind this weekend. You can track every single transaction with a free printable roster cuts tracker. Which bubble players on your team are actually going to survive the weekend? Get ready for the chaos, grab your free printable roster cuts tracker, and check out the full breakdown right now at sportsbrackets.net.